Keep it lit. Dr. I'm all about the Benjamins, ain't I be running to the shows and ain't never had the stage right. Freak them hoes on the late night, hey. And in the daylight, gotta get my cake right. Ain't about nothing that we can't buy. To be around me, a nigga gotta have a great mind. It's 4-5, not an 8-5. And waving 4 fingers in that pussy nigga ain't mine. I got about the streets, hey, and got focused on the cheese. For me, my brother did a 7 piece. For them licks, I owe that nigga everything. I ain't nothing like you bitches, I'm a G. The 7 letter and a fucking P. You bitches serving pussy for a fee. Brother, please, that can never be me. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, hit me if it's urgent. Every day I'm working. Friday, Saturday, running into Sunday. Every day I'm hustling. I be getting money. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, hit me if it's urgent. Every day I'm working. Friday, Saturday, running into Sunday. Every day I'm hustling. I be getting money. Speaking on me, gon' make your situation better. Play it out quick compared to me, they'll never measure. If she talking pressure, know I'm with whatever. Going undefeated, I'm a heavyweight stepper. Your mama raised a hoe, and my mama raised a hustler. Thinking we the same as where you really had me fucked up. I don't knock the hoes, baby girl, I'm just not one. Why I got my knots up, you was getting knocked up. Hey, it's only bands, brother, only bands. Little bitch, you scared to hustle, so you got an OnlyFans. Out here doing numbers, watch me hit the rolling dance. Independently funded, and they needed no advance. Don't hate on me, I've been grinding through the week. No days off, no sleep. I'm pushing those foreign keys. L-I-T. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Hit me if it's urgent. Every day I'm working. Friday, Saturday, running into Sunday. Every day I'm hustling. I be getting money. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Hit me if it's urgent. Every day I'm working. Friday, Saturday, running into Sunday. Every day I'm hustling. I be getting money.
Man, I just dropped the link. Miss Cynthia, hit the link. Miss Cynthia, hit the link. Not gangland drunk, Miss Cynthia. We talking about Keisha White Mama, Miss Cynthia. Hit the link. Y'all know what it is. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. So yeah, man, hit that notification bell, man. Every time we spin the block, y'all gonna spin it with us, man. Y'all know what it is, man. We about to take it to Texas real quick. Shout out to my nigga D Baby out of Houston. We about to take it to Texas real quick, man. Y'all know what it is. Hey, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hey, you can't get it nowhere else but here. I'm just saying though. The other niggas, they saturated. Over here, we situated. It's gangland, man. Y'all know what it is.
EJ Beats.
I'm tired of the fake ass love they be giving. Say you ain't the same, but I'm knowing you ain't different. Off a perk right now, I was getting in my feelings. I think people try to hurt me just to see if I'm a feeling. I was trying to feel some things I ain't felt in a little minute. I was giving you my heart, my last came with it. You was shooting for the stars, I was shooting for $1 million. I was young and I ain't understand, I'm older now I get it. Call my phone, what you doing, bitch, I'm working, I ain't chilling. Say you love me when I'm down, but hate it when I'm winning. I was sober for some years, but I got a junkie in me. Family in the chain gang, I ain't seen them in a minute. Black tea, black sheep, I'm the one that you had left eye. Stars in the roof, now I'm headed to the west side. Never fall in love with a bitch, I know she ain't mine. Treat her like the rolling on the wrist, watch her pass time. Used to be in love, but I learned my lesson back then. I just want a hoe who do it better than my last bitch. I'm pouring up the red, Kayla told me I was damn mid. I got problems in my head, baby, I come with some bad hits. But got it coming home, I don't wanna see his mama cry. Big boss, I ain't tripping if a nigga gotta die. Tryna get them M's for that pain in his mama eyes. I gotta be headstrong, but deep down it's hurting me inside. I was down bad, had to call the plug back. I know the script, I'm sticking to it like a thumb tape. I cut him off for playing games, how you love that? Shawty got the thuggin' with my heart, I had to thug back. I could press a button on you, bitch, kill a pop off. Wanted to look out for my daddy, he was locked up. Wanna see my cousin one more time, but she boxed off. Graveyard talking to the dead, bitch, I'm chopped off. Started from the bottom, now I'm CEO and business. Granny told me never ever put no trust up in these bitches. When they speaking from mistakes that they ain't made, you gotta listen. I'll be working till the sun comes up, I ain't fit. My brother told me keep that thing on me. I get to myself like, what they changed on me? Yeah, I'ma pull up on you, gas tank on me. If you love me like you say you do, you gotta show me something, I gotta see.
As an entrepreneur, as a creator, I'm 24/7 on the go all the time. Shopify makes it very easy.
Man, that bald head ass nigga was lying like a motherfucker. That nigga lying like a motherfucker. Nigga, you over there look like you making a cat food sandwich. Nigga, get your ass up out of here. Hey, man, y'all know what it is, man. It's Gangland TV, man. Hey, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Slap that notification bell, man. We on a good one tonight. Shout out to everybody in the building. We got Joe in the building, Carly C, you know what I'm saying, and Lloyd in the building. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. We got Tall Glass in the building. You know what I'm saying? Fine ass, big sexy in the building. What the fuck? Come on, man. Justice for Keisha White, man. We got our hey, hit the link. Hit the link. I just dropped the link. Hit the link. Miss Cynthia, hit the link. I just dropped the link. Hit the link. So you can come up to the panel real quick. I'm gonna drop it again. We got Miss Cynthia in the building. I don't know where drunk ass Miss Cynthia. Where her ass at? I ain't heard her all day. Normally she would have been around. Hopefully she's okay. Come on, man. Who else we got in the building? We got Mama in the building. We got Money Bird in the building. Come on, man. We got my nigga Stash Low Main in the building. We got Yo Highness in the building. Come on, man. It's a gangland party, man. Real town business party. Come on, man. Hey, we about to get into some more music, man. We got some more Kamaya coming. Yeah, real town business. I'm about to roll up. I'm about to cook and do all type of shit while I'm on this live. You hear me? Like I've been doing. I'm telling you, man, it's a one-stop shop. Nigga, get off and gotta go to a whole nother job. Shit. But hey, it's well worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, slap that notification bell every time we spin a block. Y'all gonna spin it with us, man. It's Kamaya though. I'm just saying, nigga.
Hey, 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 playing with the shit, hey. Little chick still playing with the shit, hey. Got it back, still playing with the shit. Oh, homeless ass nigga, what you stand with the bitch? Playing with the shit, hey. You can tell who really playing with the shit, hey. You broke as hell, you ain't playing with the shit. Pillow talking on the players while you live with the bitch. I heard my name in rooms that I ain't been in. They running off of shit that I invented. You gotta show that ass and all them titties. You cannot rap, that's all facts, you all gimmicks. I'm a big dog in my division. I'm the big boss in y'all pigeons. Bird assholes with no vision. I got up off my ass and I made my own millions. Broke ass nigga, I can tell you a WS, I'm a player with a club. Drop a 30 in that bitch, it ain't no snare in that drum. Car loud as shit, you can tell when I come. It's the edge and I dip, keep it player when I'm done. Hey, I'm with the shit, hey, with all of it. I'm a superstar, but I hang with players and the thugs. Playing with the shit, hey. Little chick still playing with the shit, hey. Got it back, still playing with the shit. Oh, homeless ass nigga, would you stand with the bitch? Playing with the shit, hey. You can tell who really playing with the shit, hey. You broke as hell, you ain't playing with the shit. Pillow talking on the players while you live with the bitch.
I can tell, nigga sick. Feel like I'm homeless. I be laying with them sticks. Shit, for real. Bitch, all advance on my wrist. Ay. Early in the morning to some egg, to some grits. What the fuck is my meat? Hell wrong with this bitch. Shopping for new tools, got your hoe on my list. Easter egg hunt, shells coat, vice fits. Pull up, knock his power out the pole, gotta switch. No more responding, I'ma catch him, nigga, know he sliding. When them bald heads hit him, he ain't Jody mama. Yeah, I dropped a song called Who Shot You, but he know who got him. The way we got doggone, feel like Coney Island. Man, bitch, keep on hating, cause my side hoe look like Pocahontas. Ex bitch had a shot, she let him fuck it up, just photo bombing. Knocked her for 250,000 when it bought some house. Guess he fresh to death, he hit the mall, we caught him walking out it.
Playing with the shit, ayy. Little chick still playing with the shit, ayy. Got it back, still playing with the shit. Oh, homeless ass nigga, would you stand with the bitch? Playing with the shit, ayy. You can tell who really playing with the shit, ayy. You broke as hell, you ain't playing with the shit. Pillow talking on the players while you laying with the bitch. Ayy. Ayy. Pillow talking on the players while you laying with the bitch.
Niggas know me, been off the points is like back when. Gang in the field, bitch, we be something like the Pac-10.
Gangland, we around this motherfucker, back.
Oh, man, bitch, stand on that. To the head, I'll show a nigga's feelings. My 9th and Wood nigga, up the street from the village.
We ain't in it, you niggas don't tell no blocks, we ain't in it. I'm so
thing about Mackie, he gon' stand on business. Make sure you put him down, never leave a witness. No love for the suckers, never on forgiveness. Stomp down on these niggas, cause niggas is big. Ooh, about to blow something. Man got the stick, about to hold something. Ooh.
Y'all know what it is. It's Gangland TV. Sit there and live. Hit the like button. Don't be boosty. And subscribe to the channel. And hit the notification bell, man. That shit easy, man. You know what I'm saying? Easy. Subscribing, that's free as fuck. Hit the notification bell, that's free as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That shit's free.
Gang in the field, bitch, we be something like the Pac-10.
Hello? Hello?
Ms. Avis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am. I got your message, and we have not gotten a response back from the medical examiner's office.
Okay.
Not yet. We checked our emails.
Okay, so you said you haven't heard back from the medical examiner. And thank you, by the way, for calling me back.
Yes, ma'am.
How does the medical examiner typically respond?
Well, since we've asked directly, she would probably send us a notice that would come through. It's to me, and then a copy to as part of an investigation, and we would look at it, checks all our make the match against any pending cases, and if not, she would then realize that this is not one of the pending cases we have, and then she would just draw it to my attention.
Okay, I'm kind of lost. Can you explain that part again?
Yes, ma'am. Typically, these are for cases that we already have pending.
Okay.
So they're sent to myself and my administrative assistant, and she goes through the ones we get to match them to the cases that we have to the particular DA. And so when she would see this, eventually she would realize that this is not this is not one assigned to anybody, and then we would take a look at it. So we get an email sent back to us from the medical examiner's office. Is a short answer.
Okay, so I was looking back at my email where the medical release was sent, and that was at the end of July, near the end of July. When did you say that you gave everything to the medical examiner?
I could not tell you off the top of my head. It would have been soon after that because we had interns that scanned it, and then once it was scanned, it was emailed off. So,
okay, so it was given to the medical examiner by email, Dr. Kelly? So I know my daughter had a lot of records, medical records and such. Is this the largest file that you sent to Dr. Kelly to review?
is this the largest one we've ever sent?
The largest one, yes.
I couldn't say that. I've never thought to compare it to any other cases.
Right.
So I couldn't say that one way or the other.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit how the investigation process works as far as what steps?
Well, for the most part, most of that's already been done. I know the detectives, when the allegations were originally made, came out, did their investigation, and typically at that point, we would ask of course, the medical examiner would have come out to the scene and picked up the body and done the autopsy at that point, normally.
Okay, well, I didn't request an autopsy because I didn't know anything had gone wrong until the hospital sent their risk manager, Vicki Haddock, to my house about a month after. And that's when I found out that some things were not done the way they were supposed to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wouldn't say.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying normally that's what happens. The detectives call the medical examiner out to the scene, or if the medical examiner does not come out, they're not MTs, but they go and pick up the body and then do the medical examination. And depending on the medical examiner, some will want the officer in there to talk to them about what happened or what is believed to happen. Some medical examiners don't want an officer in there; they just want to make their own findings.
Right. Okay. I'm asking because, like I told you before, different people were never investigated. Do you plan to formally investigate witnesses and family members who were at the hospital?
We can go by what the medical examiner said to us and whether she thought that was something criminal or not.
Because
then
I know
based on that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were based on what the medical examiner told us. If medical examiner says that she think there wasn't anything criminal, then we stop. And if she says there was, based on what she sends us or what they send us, then we would talk to GPD and they would go back out and talk to someone.
Yes, I know they closed the case without investigating any of us. And we were witnesses. We were never asked what we saw, what we heard, what was, the state of mind of anybody or anything. And we're almost 9 years in, and none of us have been questioned about anything.
Well, that would have been because at the time, no one thought that it was criminal.
Well, with the evidence that was submitted, there had to be, I don't remember the legal term, but some type of question about whether it might have been something criminal. Like I said, we were never investigated for them to, come to their conclusions. We have different statements from different people that's in the DHHS report where co-workers stated that the nurse verbally told them she would not reconnect my daughter to the cardiac leads. You know, just things like that, and we were never questioned about it.
That's really going to come down to what the medical examiner looking at it finds and makes a determination as to what will be proper in that kind of setting.
Okay, so right now the medical examiner has the medical records. Do they have the copy of the police report or anything that the police there, any part of the police investigation?
I would have to go back and look through individually to see, but I know we sent most of the records that we had from you and the records that we had involving the hospital records we sent off to the medical examiner. But I have to go back and scan, look individually.
Okay, so.
But the medical examiner would know that there were no criminal findings previously.
Okay.
Because we have to let her know why we're sending it to her.
Right. Okay, so you said she would normally respond by email and then a paper copy, I believe you said, a hard copy would be sent?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You can just email it to us.
So there wouldn't be a hard copy?
Not typically. Because it's sent to us through a secure email, and if it was a criminal case, then we would send it off to the defendants.
Okay, so because it's electronic, will I get a copy? I know last year, when we talked about this last summer, and you claimed that I already had a copy, and that you had already sent the documents there, and then I found out otherwise when I spoke with the office, and then you even in our conversation you told me that I would not be able to see the decision that you said you already had back. So then we start all over, you know, when you called me and told me that you would forward everything to the medical examiner. Will I be able to see the results this time?
What you would have to ask her directly. What we get is part of our investigation, and we don't usually hand it out unless there's a criminal case charged, and then we only hand that to the defendant. We will let you know what findings she makes, and then you have to ask her directly for a copy of it. Which in this case, would be as the executor of her estate.
Right. Well, I am the executor of her estate, of Keisha White's estate. Okay. And right now, you just have no idea how much longer it will take to get a response back?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All righty. Well, I guess that's all of my questions for now. Some of them I crossed off because you answered. You already answered some of the questions that I already had wrote down just in some of your explanations. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your time and you calling me back today. So I was a little bit nervous because I missed your call this morning.
Oh, that's all right. We don't get a chance to come back and be in our office a lot.
Okay. Well, like I said, I appreciate your time and everything, and I'll try to follow up again soon if I don't hear from you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Medical examiner's office. This is
Man, you know, for one, it sounds like this nigga trained to say certain shit. Two, you can hear in his voice, nigga, you lying like a motherfucker, bro. She already said, how could y'all do all this and have an investigation when I haven't even been questioned? People haven't even been questioned. The right people haven't even been questioned. So how in the fuck is y'all gonna go ahead and do some shit like this when It's not even a formal investigation, my guy. It's not a formal investigation. You cannot tell this lady, oh, well, we're going to, the evidence that we see. What evidence? People haven't even been questioned. You see what I'm saying? Like, this shit crazy. Like, y'all didn't even question the doctor who took her fucking heart monitor off. Did y'all question the doctor who took her heart monitor off? I think not. Lying like hell. And Lloyd, this nigga lying. GLD, let's listen to some more, man. This gangland.
Hello, Miss.
Yes.
I was calling to find out if you have any information in your system on my daughter, Keisha White.
No, ma'am, we don't have any information on her. I believe you're supposed to speak with risk management because we don't have any information here in the medical examiner's office. We're not doing anything with her case.
So have you received anything?
No, ma'am, I have not received anything. It would come to me, and I haven't received anything.
No record. Ferris Dixon is saying that he sent everything last summer. The release he had me sign was sent to me towards the end of July, and I sent it back early in August. And so it was after that he claims that everything was sent to that office, the medical records and reports from DHHS and the Board of Nursing and so forth.
I don't have anything. And the last time I talked with his office, they said they had not sent me anything. So I'm sorry, but no, I have not received anything. And I would be the contact person that would receive that information.
Okay, well, if he does send the information over, how would Dr. Kelly typically respond? Would I get a copy, or is it just between a decision that would be just between that office and the DA, like an email or something?
I don't know what she would do with it. She'd have to wait and she'd have to talk with Rick because we're not supposed to be doing anything with the case. And so she would have to talk with the attorneys and then see what she would be allowed to do.
Okay.
Okay, but no, I have not received anything.
Wow. So this is 2 times, because last summer around June or July, he claimed that he already had a report back from Dr. Kelly. And then when I spoke with this office, it was you who told me that you didn't have anything in the system on my daughter. And then he called me back after he was caught in the lie. He called me back a few days later and told me, I have good news. I'm going to send everything over to the medical examiner's office. And then they followed up by sending me a release to have notarized. And then I tried to follow up with this office last, I believe in September or October, but the person that I spoke with wouldn't talk to me. So, and then I didn't try anymore until this year.
Yeah, Dr. Kelly was out of the office from November through 8 and just came back to work last week.
Right, I remember.
And we haven't received anything. They might want to FedEx it to us, or I don't know, just bring it over to us. I don't know, but I have not received anything.
Okay.
Okay?
I appreciate your time so much, Miss.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Man, we know she lying. She sound like the fucking bitch at the beginning of fucking Fun World on Bebe's Kids. All right, here's your map, your senior citizens discount, your basketball, your buying coupons, your best sneakers, and your man, please don't touch anything. Like, bitch, shut your ass up. Your lying ass. Yo, lying ass. Like, come on. We have anything. We don't have nothing of your honor. No, we don't have anything. Man, ladies, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Man, we don't have anything. We have to go. Let me go back here and go out there and see if we have anything. Shut your ass up. Hate that lady voice. It's irritating.
Hello?
Miss Aiden?
Yes?
Yes, ma'am. I'm calling from the DA's office. You left a message for me?
Yes, sir. Thank you for
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for returning my call.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm calling because I got other information regarding the sending of records to the medical examiner's office.
Other information from
Didn't
who or about?
didn't you run on a platform of cleaning up the corruption in the courthouse?
Ma'am, but what is it you're talking about?
They don't have anything.
Ma'am, we scanned it and we sent it.
They don't have anything.
You can go back and look.
Excuse me?
We're looking back through our emails. Can you open it up for us? Sure. Thank you. Office 11. Yeah, how many pages? 609, 2000. Almost 3,000 pages. August 11th, last year, we sent in one document, 2,361 pages, and in the second one, 693 pages. Now, what happened once we got it? We don't know. But it was sent last summer.
Miss saying that she doesn't have they don't have anything in their system.
Well, it was sent to Dr. Kelly. It was sent to Dr. Kelly, to her email.
Miss said that everything has to go through her. She would know all of it.
Okay. And who's this lady?
She's the office manager.
All right. We'll send it to her. Previously we sent it to where Dr. Kelly wanted us to send it to.
So you're going to send it to her today?
Yes, ma'am. We're typing it now.
Okay.
How you spell her name?
Whose name?
Her email.
I have the spelling of her name, but I don't have her email.
Yeah, got it. All right. We spelled it correctly and are about to send it to her as soon as we finish up.
I'd appreciate it.
Go ahead. You want to copy Dr. Kelly then? Yeah. Okay. Done.
Can your office please follow up with them just for receipt to confirm that they actually have it this time?
Certainly.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Bye-bye.
Miss Cynthia, hit the link. I just dropped the link. Hit the link. Uh, I need for you to better describe like what was you feeling when they was talking to you and telling you these things. I'm gonna bring it back. Hit the link and hit the link, Miss Cynthia. Um, I'm gonna bring it back so y'all can listen again because you know it'd be shit we don't be hearing the first time. So I'm gonna bring it back one more time. We're gonna go back and listen to the messages when she called in regards to her daughter. Uh, you know, daughter was in the hospital and some shady shit went on, and we gotta talk about it. So yeah, y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, slap that notification bell. Justice for Keisha White. No one is talking about this, and I don't know why. You know, maybe because they feel like they can't clout chase, or it ain't about that with us. We gonna get this story out and spread this word, man. Something went on, something is wrong, and I mean we ain't gonna point no finger. We gonna point out the obvious. It's GLD, so y'all know what it is, man. Tap in, it's gangland.
Hello? Hello?
Ms. Davis, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am. I got your message, and we have not gotten a response back from the medical examiner's office.
Okay.
Not yet. We checked our emails.
Okay. So you said you haven't heard back from the medical examiner. Oh, and thank you, by the way, for calling me back.
Yes, ma'am.
How does the medical examiner typically respond?
Well, since we've asked directly, she would probably send us a notice that would come through. It's to me, and then a copy to as part of an investigation, and we would look at it, checks all our make the match against any pending cases, and if not, she would then realize that this is not one of the pending cases we have, and then she would just draw it to my attention.
Okay, I'm kind of lost. Can you explain that part again?
Yes, ma'am. Typically, these are for cases that we already have pending.
Okay.
So they're sent to myself and my administrative assistant, and she goes through the ones we get to match them to the cases that we have to the particular DA. And so when she would see this, eventually she would realize that this is not one assigned to anybody, and then we would take a look at it. So we get an email sent back to us from the medical examiner's office. Is a short answer.
Okay. So I was looking back at my email where the medical release was sent, and that was at the end of July, near the end of July. When did you say that you gave everything to the medical examiner?
I could not tell you off the top of my head.
All right, hold on, Miss Cynthia. You should be up here. I don't know what's going on. They got you scrolling and circling and scrolling, but I think you up here though. When he said, I cannot think off the back of my head. What was your thoughts when he said that? Because these are things that you should have dates for. Being a professional and yeah, I think you in now, but you gotta hit the mic button. Hit your mic button. You gotta hit your mic button. All right. Say something. I think it's unmuted. Oh no, it's muted. You gotta unmute your mic. Let me see. I don't know. You probably gotta come back, go out and come back in and connect your mic. I don't think your mic connected. I don't think the mic is connected. Yeah, I don't think the mic is connected. But go out and come back in and then connect your mic. But let's get back into it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And we're gonna hear from Miss Cynthia herself how she felt uh, with these individuals lying to her about her daughter. It's been 9 months. And that's the questions we gotta think when we talk about Shanquella Robinson. May ultimately this case end up like Keisha White, to where we want to see justice, but it seems like people don't give a fuck. We got to spread this word, period. We got to spread this word. And that's just that, man. It's our due diligence to spread this word. I think I can hear you now. Say something. Hold on, let me see. The mic should be on right now. Let me see. Oh, no, that ain't me. If y'all hear me, put a 1 up. Put the gangland sign up. If y'all hear me, put the number 1 up. Put the gangland emoji up. If y'all hear me. I don't know what's going on, Miss Cynthia. Your mic connected? Is your mic connected? I don't know because it's unmuted. Okay, they hear me. Y'all hear me? Okay. But we don't hear Miss Cynthia, though. We having some technical difficulties. Yeah, they giving her the runaround like crazy. Hold on, let me see. Okay, everybody can hear me, but we can't hear Miss Cynthia. Hold on. I don't know. It's something with your mic because we can see you, we just can't hear you. So it's something going on with your mic connection. Something going on with the mic connection. But while we figure this out, let's get into it. I know you was up here the last time. I don't know what's going on this time, but we'll figure it out. We ain't going nowhere. We'll figure it out. But yeah, man, y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and while we figure this out, we're gonna listen to it a little bit more. So yeah, man, y'all hit the like button. It's gangland.
It would have been soon after that because we had interns that scanned it, and then once it was scanned, it was emailed off. So
Okay, so it was given to the medical examiner by email, Dr. Kelly? So I know my daughter had a lot of records, medical records and such. Is this the largest file that you sent to Dr. Kelly to review?
is this the largest one we've ever sent?
The largest one, yes.
I couldn't say that. Cause I've never talked to compare it to any other cases.
Right.
So
Did we fix it? We still ain't fix it. I don't know what's going on. If you got another phone, try a different phone or an Apple. If you're on the Apple, I don't know why it seems to work hella crazy on the Android. The Android don't be really tampering with it, but yeah, we ain't going nowhere. We'll figure it out. Just it gotta be something with the mic because we see you. We see the video. We just don't hear the audio. So just keep hitting your mic. When you come on, just say something. If we hear something, I'll stop it. And I know you on.
I couldn't say that one way or the other.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit how the investigation process works as far as what steps?
Well, for the most part, most of that's already been done. I know the detectives, when the allegations were originally made, came out, did their investigation, and typically at that point, we would ask of course, the medical examiner would have come out to the scene and picked up the body and done the autopsy at that point, normally.
Okay, well, I didn't request an autopsy because I didn't know anything had gone wrong until the hospital sent their risk manager, Vicky Haddock, to my house about a month after. And that's when I found out that some things were not done the way they were supposed to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying. Normally, that's what happens. The detective goes in and out to the scene.
Shit, hold on. We almost got you. Hold on. We got too many mics on. Hold on. Let me see. All right. Is this mic working?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, this will. All right, we on. We working now. I can hear you.
Okay, I opened it up in my computer.
Okay. Oh, that's why you gotta close out the YouTube, close out of the YouTube tab, and just have the StreamYard tab open.
Yeah, the mic was not muted on the phone, but you couldn't hear me. So I decided to just go ahead and open this up on my computer.
Okay, I see what you do. I do the same thing. I see what you're doing. What was going through your mind when you was calling in regards to your daughter?
I was just concerned about trying to get it all recorded because he told me the lie initially last summer. There was some evidence that was missing. And when I found out that the evidence was missing, I told him who I had gave it to so that he could get another copy. And then I also wrote a dossier tying everything together, everything that happened with which crime that it fit. So he needed time to read through all of that information. So I gave him till actually he had a murder charge he was preparing for, so that kind of put a hold on things. And then after that was over, when I talked to him again, he said, "Well, I haven't finished reading it." He said, "Give me about 2 weeks." And I said, "Okay." I said, "With what you have already read, do you see where a crime has been committed yet?" And he said, "No." I said, "Okay." I said, "So I'll give you about 2 weeks and then I'll get back in touch." So about 2.5 weeks went by. And when I called him, oh yeah, also in that conversation, I said, "So what are you going to do if you do see where a crime was committed?" And he said, "I will forward everything to the medical examiner's office." And I said, "Okay." So about 2.5 weeks later, I talked to him and we got into an argument because he's still telling me that no crime had been committed. And I guess he felt backed into a corner. I'm not sure. But that's what he blurted out, that he couldn't go forward because he already had a decision from the medical examiner. I said, "In 2 weeks?" And he said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "In 2 weeks, you finished reading everything," which was a 194-page document, plus the dossier was about another 25 pages. I said, "You finished reading everything, sent everything to the medical examiner, and you got a decision back in 2 weeks?" He said, "Yes, ma'am." And I knew that no alphabet agency works that fast. So I got off the phone with him and I called the medical examiner's office and I spoke with the office manager. And she kept telling me, she said, "We don't have anything in our system on your daughter." She was asking me date of birth, date of death.
Yeah, ma'am. We don't have anything here. That lady.
Yes, that lady. And she
Okay.
could not find anything in their system. And she said, "What date is on it?" I said, "He didn't tell me," because I had asked him. I said, can I get a copy of that decision you have?" He said, "No." I had asked him, "Can I come and see your copy?" He said, "No." I said, "What date is on it?" He said, "I can't tell you that."
I said, who signed it? I said, can you tell me who signed it? No, I cannot. Okay, so I'm on the phone with the office manager, and I'm telling her what he has said, and she's like, how does he expect me to find anything if he's not giving you any information? She said, I really don't think he has that, such a document, because we can't find anything. So she connected me with some guy that also worked in the medical examiner's office. And he told me, he said, give me a few days to try to get to the bottom of this. And so this was on a Monday. I said,
Yeah.
so call you back on Thursday? And he said, just give us a few days. I said, okay, I'll call you back Wednesday. So Wednesday, when I called back, the office manager was on the phone with me. And she said, well, we reached out to the DA's office and asked him about the decision that he said he had. And they told us that they had to find it. So a few days after that, the DA calls me back. And he says, okay, guess what? I have good news. I said, what? He said, we're going to send everything over to the medical examiner's office. I said, but you said, do you want me to send everything over there or not? I mean, he just cut me off and was like quite rude. So I humbled myself and I said, yes, sir. Yes, I want you to do that. And so then, he ended up sending me the release that he wanted notarized. And then he claimed that he sent everything in August 2022. When I tried to follow up with the medical examiner's office in September, it was a different voice who answered the phone. It wasn't the office manager. And she wouldn't tell me anything. She said, you have to talk to risk management. She said, I was told that if you called to tell you that you need to talk to the risk manager. I said, oh, y'all got a message just for me? Okay.
Wow.
So I waited about a month. I waited till October, and I tried again, trying to get the first lady back on the phone. But no, it was the same person again. Well, we can't talk to you. If we were told that if you call, that we need to tell you to call the risk manager. So I waited on until early this year, and I called the DA in January, and he said, well, Dr. Kelly is on FMLA right now, and she'll be back in February. So I called the medical examiner's office, and this time I didn't ask any, like a lot of questions. I didn't say who I was. I just wanted to confirm if Dr. Kelly was actually out on FMLA, and she was. And they told me that she would be back at the end of February. So in March, when I called, she was back to work, but she was working from home. She wasn't back in the office yet. But the office manager told me again that they didn't have anything. And I said, okay, I gotta record this because, he keeps saying that he sent everything. They're telling me that they don't have anything. So I bought a recorder, and then I recorded the next few conversations, and that's what's up here.
So that's what you guys are hearing.
So I was really just more concerned with trying to get this evidence to prove that he had been lying to me. And there was no way to bring out the lie from last summer except for to mention it in the conversation just to see if he would defend himself from it. And he did not.
I think that once you start calling so many times, they start putting specific people on that case. And that's just like with T-Mobile right now. Like they supposed to raise everybody bill and shit. Sneaky, like didn't tell nobody. Like, oh, they about to start putting $10, $20 on each line. You better call and opt out. You see what I'm saying? Like it's sneaky, like they try to do some shit without anybody knowing. And it's like when you call, they're trained to say, well, we're giving you this free, that's free, that free. So don't even worry about it. No, I'm worried about it. You ain't about to look up at my phone bill double than what it was. So It's like what they did was once you call so many times, they put a certain individual on because they do be having some kind of caller ID too and be knowing who be calling.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that number call, just tell them like they already planning it out.
Right. That's why sometimes I would just star 67 my number before I make the call.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or either sometimes I would use my husband's phone because they don't know his number that well, like that, because I don't call from it that often.
Is that Keisha's father?
No.
Okay. What was he around?
Purposes, yes, but not. He's not the sperm donor.
Okay, so he's her pop. He her pops.
Yeah.
Okay. How does he feel about this situation?
I mean, he's with me, all the way. I mean, he doesn't like what happened, but he
Mm-hmm.
supports me. He's with me with everything, and he does think that something is up, and so I'll go ahead and do something, and then I'll tell him what I'm doing.
Yes.
But
Uh,
he was with me when we took her off life support because she was already brain dead.
was he with? He wasn't with you because you know how you said you was in the hospital. You could hear a wet wing and everything. He was like, "Hold on, that's my daughter's room." Was he with you then?
No, he was at home. He had to work. So
Okay.
I was spending, he would come up there on his off days and things like that. But we didn't expect, for her to die or anything, Um, and even the nurse practitioner had told me that same night on the night before well, it was actually May 10th because it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. But I was so afraid, and I went and asked him. I said, "Should I be preparing myself?" And he said, "No." He said, "Me and her doctors do think that her condition is going to improve." He said, "Her kidneys are failing," and I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "But we do expect her condition to improve." And then I left for that break and came back, and she was gone. They were calling code blue.
Wow. Um, I gotta get that other. Something like this happened before. I gotta pull up. I don't know why I didn't pull it up before the show. I'm gonna have to pull it up tomorrow because I already got so much stuff in the queue right now. But this has happened before. Somebody done tamper with the monitor, more things than that. Like they was doing all type of things. So when you mention the heart monitor, tampering with that, you got to think this is a federal building. Any hospital is federal. It's a federal building. You
Yes, because
working
they
there?
receive federal funding.
Hold on, what was that?
I said yes because they receive federal funding.
Yes. So with this being a federal building, you're not supposed to touch nothing. You ain't supposed. You supposed to go by. That's why you go to school for so long. So hey man, hey, you got to make the right decisions when it comes to surgeries and whatever the case may be, whether you're a doctor, and then you got to make sure you're administering the right prescriptions and medicines and things of that nature when you're a nurse. So it's like they know these things. You see what I'm saying? Like tampering with that is a crime. It's a crime. Depriving someone in the hospital that's a patient, depriving them of anything that's going to heal them is a crime, and it's malpractice. You can't do that. So it's like for this to be going on, and it's the ninth. Is it going on 9 years or?
It's been over 9 years now.
And it's just the same runarounds, just the same.
Well, when the other DA was in the office, it wasn't as much of a runaround because she wouldn't talk to me at all.
Mm.
She just wouldn't talk to me at all. And then after her tenure was up, she decided not to run for office again. And then this guy, actually, Dixon, he was her ADA, and she had him fired. Something about a charge he dropped for a Mexican cab driver. I believe he
Yeah.
had a traffic violation and he dismissed it. So she said she reported him to the ethics committee and said that he wasn't doing his job. He was, because he dropped that. But he wasn't found to have done anything wrong, so they didn't do anything about it. But he was running for the judge seat at the time. And then she had him fired. And when the election came, he missed the vote by 100 votes. So he just went back to his, I guess, private practice during the meantime. And then
Yeah.
after her tenure was up, then he ran for her seat for district attorney. But he ran on the platform of cleaning up the corruption in the courthouse. And I mean, I was happy for him. I rooted. I wasn't in the area. I couldn't vote for him because that was countywide. But
Yeah.
I was rooting for him, and I couldn't wait for him to get in office because I'm like, okay, a new DA is coming. I got another shot here, and he's he's disappointed me in every way that he can because he's a puppet. When the office manager said
Yes.
that I should be talking to risk management, and then she made the comment that Dr. Kelly would need to talk to risk. It seems to me that the hospital's risk management is calling the shots at everybody. That's why the police haven't gone any further. That's why they never investigated me or my husband or my son, who were there when we actually took my daughter off life support. They're still witnesses because they were there when time of death was called. And my son, he was there the day before. So and also he got phone calls on the night of the 9th while I was on my way to the hospital. The hospital was calling him. And at that time, I had no idea what was going on, but my daughter was so upset because her catheter had been pulled out and she's laying there in pain and the nurse wasn't doing anything for her.
Did she pull it out or it came out?
They said that she pulled it out. I'm not sure what happened.
Allegedly, they said she pulled it out.
That's what I was told, that she pulled it out.
So they could have pulled it out.
It's possible.
And then Lydon said she took it out. So if she took it out, why wouldn't you put it back in?
Well, they said in the records that she was refusing for it to go back in. And so the nurse told her that it didn't have to go back in. And at that time, you just had got a 1-inch hole ripped through you. I don't think it would have been a good idea to put it back in at that time anyway.
Yeah.
But she still, hadn't given her anything for pain. And through all of this night, while she's not doing her job, there's been no reports that she's had anything, another medical emergency to attend or anything that would have prevented her from giving my daughter the care that she was supposed to receive.
Yeah, this for one, this is not normal at all. This is not normal at all. Two, this is just, what do you think their motives was to not interview everybody? You, your husband, your son, like, what do you think their motives is for that, to not interview? Because am I right? Ain't they supposed to be here to protect and serve?
They're supposed to be here to protect and serve, yes. And they're supposed to be protecting the community. That's supposed to be all of their jobs. The police, the DA, and everything is public protection. But I believe that they were told not to go any further, and I believe they were told not to go any further from the hospital. And for whatever reason, these people put their jobs and careers and everything on the line to do what the hospital asks. And that's my opinion. I don't have any proof other than what's in that conversation that everybody needs to go to risk, and the risk manager works for the hospital. Even when I reported this to the police, because the hospital had reported it to the police, they went to a couple of SBI agents who weren't even in the county. They worked in another part of the state in DEA. It had me questioning, what in the world, why are you going to DEA? Was the nurse drunk or something? Did she drug my daughter? But that's who they were friends with. So, and again, that's my opinion. That's who they were friends with. So going to them added them another layer of protection. So when the police said that they were going to get the SBI involved in investigating, that didn't move me because I knew that they had already been lying. Even after this case, the Greenville Police Department assigned it to a detective. And when the detective, he took all my statements and everything when I first reported it, because they let me do it by phone since I wasn't there. And when he called me back, he started laughing. He said, "You're going to think this is funny." And I said, "What?" He said, "Really, I know, I understand that you think that a crime has happened, but it was really no crime that happened." And I said, "I don't think that's funny." He said, well, things sometimes seem one way, and and then after you check into it, you find out that it really wasn't that. Basically, I guess he just didn't know what else to tell me, but by then they had already been told not to go any further on the case. I have asked for a copy of the police report, the one that when they took my statements over the phone. And
Yeah.
the police department has refused to give it to me. I have gone in person to try to get it. They won't give it to me. They keep referring me to the city attorney. When I talk to the city attorney and ask for it, he sends me an email with a heavily redacted 2 pages. There's hardly no information visible. It has the name of the hospital and the address and the date, and that's it. Everything else has been blotted out. And then they use some type of law saying that the other information does not have to be given because it's not public. It's my police report. That's supposed to be public information. I thought that the police reports were public information. But see, they'll use the law to hinder me or to use against me. That's why I keep my ass out of Greenville, because they're not going to Sandra Bland me.
Miss Monica, hit the link, Miss Monica. Monica Gardner, hit the link. Yeah, I'm trying to think, because we ain't gonna stop with you, because cold cases get solved all the time. Cold cases get solved all the time, and I done seen cold cases be solved like 10 plus years. Cold cases solved. You know what I'm saying? But as far as being a minority and also being a young woman of color, it's kind of hard due to the fact that how they really don't give a fuck. That's why this shit is all transpiring right now. That's why it's even been 9 years right now. Because just like Kenneka Jenkins, they wanted to try to sweep this shit under the rug.
Right.
Yeah, man. Look at what happened in Las Vegas when that man was in the Mandalay Bay and he shot all those people. After he shot all those people, they made a saying called Vegas Strong. And to keep saying Vegas Strong is to keep you in remembrance of the 200 people he didn't shot. So eventually, gradually, that shit just went away, because now you're scaring people. You're going to stop people from coming here. They're going to stop spending money. Y'all going to stop people from coming to this hospital if they find out people heart monitors and shit being tampered with, if they find out they're not getting the proper care, if they're finding out that people is not going to come to this hospital. Matter of fact, they're going to start investigating the whole hospital.
Yeah, I mean, even if in this case they know who's responsible. So I mean, I don't even understand. It's like it's given to them, like right in their lap, and they won't do anything. But if I have to close the hospital doors trying to get this out, trying to get justice served, keep putting it out until people just don't go, then okay, I'm fine with that. If that's what it takes. If I file complaints against people, if different people have to lose their job or reputation is messed up, I'm fine with that, because you should have did your job. I'm just wondering, at what point is it worth it to keep doing what you're told instead of doing what you're supposed to do? So, if they all fall like dominoes, okay.
Hello, you still there?
Yes.
Hello. All right, Miss Monica.
Hey, Ron.
Miss Monica, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hold on, I gotta add her back up. Hold on, let me add her up here real quick. Miss Monica, what's going on, Miss Monica? You there?
I'm here, Ron. Can you hear me?
All right, you Yeah, I can hear you. Blessings. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. Hi, Miss Cynthia. How are you?
Hello.
Well,
You you worked in a hospital, right?
yeah, I'm here in the state of Ohio. I might as well say it. I don't care. I'm not going back. I'm too old.
Say
Uh,
it.
I work for Cleveland Clinic Foundation. And I worked there in housekeeping, working my way. I was going to college, had a kid, but and when I finally graduated, I got a better job and I started in medical records. And I was a medical records transcriber. I transcribed medical records from Latin to English, English to Latin. And part of my duties was I was like a record clerk. I pulled charts, filed them, everything, took them everywhere. And I also, whenever we had organ transplants, I flew in the helicopters delivering the organ with the medical record. That being said, I have seen a lot of paperwork go through medical records. I've seen lawyers come in. I've seen paperwork taken out, whole volumes missing for law cases. Now, one thing at this point in time, our medical examiner, which was an Indian lady, her name was Baha. Now, she was in charge of pathology department for Cleveland Clinic. But she also was the city of Cleveland's medical examiner. You work for a major hospital with a top job, and you work for the city as the head medical examiner. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff done. And you're gonna have to get some mighty big lawyers.
Hey, that's what I was thinking. Because ain't that against the law? Ain't that against the law to tamper with the heart monitors or anything?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's federal. Like Ron said, it's federal property. And back then when I first started, it wasn't cameras and stuff like that. It was they were where they were supposed to be, elevators, entryway doors, but they wasn't throughout the hospital wings. And a lot of stuff go on. You have doctors and nurses that's drug addicts. Instead of giving their patients they medicine, they going in the bathroom shooting it up in them. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. And then you get patients that die because they missed their medicine 2 or 3 times in a shift. All sorts of stuff. You're gonna have to get some mighty strong lawyers out of your state that practice in your state to handle them. And it's probably gonna wind up being civil, but whatever, stick it to them. Period. Get whatever you can. They not gonna never say they guilty. They not gonna say that. They'll whether pay you and you sign this little piece of paper saying you ain't gonna never say nothing. But yeah, it's done all the time. I mean, this is a major hospital. I've seen major stuff go wrong. Remember, I said when I first started there, I was still in college. I was working my way through college. So I was in housekeeping. I was working on the floors, interacting, seeing everything. But then after I got my degree, I went on to medical records and, started being a transcriber. So therefore, I seen it being up on the floor every day to going to medical records, and now I'm reading the shit, feeling the shit because I got lawyers coming in, they want records, and you know, they allowed to take the records and go and sit and do whatever they want to do. You know, we see a chart go from as big as a telephone book to half a telephone book. Yeah. But I got a little story I want to tell you about something that happened to me working at this big major hospital, okay? Because they're global. Cleveland Clinic is global. And I'm safe now, so I feel free to talk about it because I couldn't talk about what happened to me for a long time. I worked in housekeeping when I first started there. And I was cleaning rooms, patients' rooms, every day. Detail cleaning them, patients leave, total clean the room, everything. So the AIDS epidemic had just started. They didn't know nothing about it. You know, it clueless. So when we got those type of patients in, back then, it was, you had the gown, glove, mask to go in. You had the gown, glove, mask to go out. But when you came out, you had to step your shoes in a pan of bleach, then water, then take your footies off, your booties off, all of it. And then when the patients leave the room, we would shut the room down, take a hot machine in there with chemicals and do the walls, the ceilings, the furniture, everything, and then clean it up and get it ready for the next patient. It was real detailed, okay? So, mind you, I'm doing this type of work, so I'm working on the wing where they keep them at because they didn't put them all over the hospital. They had certain floors, certain wings, because they didn't know about this shit. It was just, this was like 84, 85. It just hit. So I was cleaning the patient's room and cleaning out the windowsill, and I wore these big green gloves. And I shoot my hand up under the windowsill and had long curtains, but I had the curtain up, but I couldn't see all the way to the end. And when I felt a little sting, and I was like, "Ooh!" And I pulled my hand back out, and I had an 18 gauge needle stuck in my finger. And I was in an AIDS patient's room. I screamed from the top of my lungs. They heard me from one side of the building to the other side of the building on the same floor. I had everybody running to me. And anyway, fast forward a little bit. So they got the needle out, they did everything. But back then, because it was so brand new and didn't nobody know how to, how it really worked and what was going on with it, but they knew we had hundreds of patients sick and dying with it. Because you walked in, but you toe tagged out. So they got me to primary health care, which was the hospital. And they got the needle out. So for the next 5 years, every 6 months, I had to both be tested for AIDS, HIV. And they put my name in a system. I was just a number. And but I also had to get some little therapy with that because my mental, I just stressed out. I was just married, kid, just graduated from college, and people was dying from this. I'm seeing them. They walk in, they toe tagged out. And so the hospital had me sign this disclaimer and, because, and at that time I was real distraught. So whatever y'all want, I'm just signing, just, I just wanted to get myself together. And later on, I thought about it. So I wanted some copies of the paperwork that I had signed. And I had a friend through the hospital, and they helped me out with the information I was trying to get. Because at the time, like I said, I wasn't thinking. So I wasn't thinking of copies. So I finally did, and I was able to read the paperwork. And I pretty much signed away my rights to ever sue them or come back at them for any reason other than anything, including anything medical written about the situation. Messed up. I made a big mistake, and luckily I didn't pay for it because after the 5 years, I was good. But I kept getting them up until 10 years because when it first happened, they said it could show up anywhere from 5 to 10 years. So they gave me the 5, but seeing how I was still working for them, I could still go in every year and get a test. But they are slick. They have big lawyers. Not only do they have big lawyers, they get all kinds of people, politicians, everybody in their pocket.
So you would say that what they doing is common. You would say.
I would say that, yes. And the DA, to me, everybody getting a payoff. That's just like I just told you. The head lady of the hospital I worked was the head lady of pathology. That's all blood work, death. She signed off on all that. But you also the city head medical examiner too. That's conflict of interest. But they explained it away enough, but they paid her enough. She was in their pockets. This is a major hospital. I'm telling you, some real messed up stuff happened there. And with her signing off on stuff, a lot of stuff just slipped right on through. And she worked for both sides at one time.
When this initially happened, Miss Cynthia, who told you that they was tampering with her heart monitor? Who told you that?
Well, first when risk manager came to my house a month after my daughter died, and they told me that one machine stopped giving readings between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and then the other machine stopped. The other reading stopped between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. So basically, the oxygen readings had stopped after 2 o'clock or about 2 o'clock because the nurse didn't record anymore. And then the cardiac monitor stopped sending information to the monitor tech between 3 and 4. So she didn't tell me anybody had tampered with anything. Actually, I thought she was trying to accuse me of something because when she was saying between 3 and 4 and, but given the time frames, I was like, I was in there and then I left about 3:30. Is she trying to say that I did something to stop this, that I did something to my daughter before leaving? So that's where my mind was at in it. I had to think about it over the weekend, the whole conversation. But as far as in the medical records, you can see where, like, as the pulse dropped on the monitor tech printouts and when the last information came in, but it was actually the board of nursing when I met with them, and they told me that that the cardiac monitor had been silenced in the room. And that's why I didn't get any alerts that anything was wrong when I was in the room, because it had been silenced. And then they also told me that it was silenced on the monitor technician's end, but you do that from the machine in the room, so that the alerts did not continue to go to the monitor technician, or however that works. They didn't get anything else, or the notifications or beeps or however it works. They didn't get anything else after it was silenced on their end. So somebody entered the room after I left out at about 3:30 or almost 3:30. Actually, the nurse went in because I had requested on my way out. I had asked her if she could give my daughter her next dose of pain medicine, because my daughter was asleep and wasn't asking for it. But, from the time that she had been in there, she never missed reminding the nurse when it was time for her next pain medicine. So I figured whatever that was going on is keeping her from asking. So I will ask for it myself. And then I also asked the nurse, I said, those tests that was ordered, are they back yet? And she said, no, ma'am. She said the only one that's back, that came back, is the one that shows that her potassium was a little high. When I got the medical records, after everything was over, I got the medical records. And when I looked at the section that had all the lab results, all of the tests were back between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning. Here it is, almost 3:30. The nurse is telling me that none of those tests are back, only the potassium. But she still had canceled the ABG test. And she had to draw blood anyway for the other tests that the nurse practitioner ordered. And then in the in his when he was questioned by the board of nursing, they asked him about that test being canceled. And he told them that the nurse, Linda Brixton, had contacted him and explained to him that the patient no longer needed that test. She denied it. I believe him. Because
who is her? Who is she to give say so on your daughter's behalf on tests? Like, who is she? She's just a nurse. So how can she deny your daughter tests if they're she's ultimately there to be not cure, because they don't cure shit, but to get better, we'll say, if you will. She's there to get better. So anything we must do to get me better, that's what we must do. Why are you denying tests when you're just merely a nurse?
Right. But she called him up and told him, because, she was asleep and resting and so on and so forth. I don't know. I don't remember what else she told him, or I don't even know actually, because it doesn't say everything that she might have told him. But whatever she told him encouraged him to cancel this ABG test. And it was the only test that would have told him that all she needed was her oxygen turned on. The tank was running low. I discovered that when the ERT was able to get a heartbeat back, and they were trying to transport her from the room to ICU. I heard one of the workers say that they didn't think she had enough oxygen in the tank to get to ICU. So the tank was low. But the nurse had also ordered a fresh tank of oxygen, but she never connected it to my daughter. Now, the nasal cannula was still at her nose. So if you go in there and looked at her, you would assume she's getting her oxygen, because, the tubing is still, across her nose. So, but she canceled that one test, the only test that would have told the doctor specifically what was going on, and she had it canceled, according to the board of nursing.
Okay, you said that her heart monitor was turned off from the room, correct?
It was silenced in the room. The cardiac leads, when they put my daughter in restraints about midnight, they did not reconnect the cardiac leads. They put her in a vest, and the cardiac leads were not put on before the vest was put on. But the nurse was notified about 10 or 12 times from the monitor technician that the patient was off the leads. The medical records show her response saying that the patient was refusing the leads. She never came in the room and said anything about the leads not being connected. So, but then in the last video that Mr. Mack showed, he showed one of my videos where I showed a piece of the DHHS report. And I don't lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. But the coworker, or in this video, a coworker asked the nurse about the cardiac leads. And she told that coworker she was not going to reconnect them because she had done so 4 times already. So that had to be before midnight, before the restraints went on. And then the board of nursing asked her about the leads, and she told them that she put them back on, but that the patient wiggled out of them, even though she was restrained, tied to the bed with a vest, with a posy vest, and both arms tied to the bed with restraints.
That's your lawsuit right there.
Well, see, It's been 9 years and the civil case has already been handled. I want criminal justice. I've been after that since day one. Even before I even tried to look for a lawyer, I want I want accountability.
The nurse,
Somebody did this.
the nurse, the nurse. First of all, the first person you want to go after, you're gonna go after the hospital, you're gonna go after the doctor. But the first person you want to go after is whoever put that first vest over her without those lead connections on. That's the
right,
person.
right.
That's the person right there. And then the next person is that same person. You said that one lady asked the other lady about the leads being put on.
Yeah,
Is that the same lady?
right. The one that said that she
Oh,
wasn't going to do it.
oh well, then you can almost say she committed the M word. Period.
I do say
That
she committed the M word.
yes. So that's your criminal case right there.
Right, but nobody's moving. Nobody's moved on it. It's been 9 years. Nobody's taken any steps towards that, and it seems that the hospital is behind everybody not doing their jobs.
Well, can you get a lawyer and take it out of that city? Because you can do that.
I've been trying to do that too. You know, so far I'm having trouble finding somebody that will represent me against the city.
Yeah,
So
because of
I'm hoping that some of these videos will get traction and where somebody will, you know, contact me because I've been making calls and sending emails and filling out those little forms on attorneys' websites and stuff like that. You know, so I mean, all the information is like right there. You know, so it proves itself.
yeah, because I'm just saying, it's just hard going against these hospitals. It's a racket.
Why did they put restraints on her?
Especially on a criminal end of it.
The restraints, Shayla, the restraints was put on because my daughter was trying to lay on the floor. Actually, she had slithered out of the bed between the rails trying to get to the floor because she was hot, and she was hot because her blood was filling up with gas. So when the nurses came in the room and saw that she was on the floor, they said that restraints had to go on. But there was doctor's orders for everything. There was doctor's orders for continued oxygen therapy at 2 liters. I guess it's 2 liters a minute. And she had been on oxygen for over a week. And, you know, she wasn't even like a drowning victim or something that came in, you know, that died from lack of oxygen or something. She had been on oxygen for over a week. There was doctor's orders for continued cardiac monitoring. And the wing that she was on was for cardiac monitored patients. So everybody on that wing was being monitored with a cardiac monitor. You know, so it really should have been a no-brainer to continue the cardiac monitoring. There was doctor's orders to report any changes in the patient's behavior, to report any changes in the patient's vital signs. The nurse failed in all of that. When she saw that the oxygen had dropped to 62% 2 hours after the restraints went on, she didn't check for any more oxygen readings. And when the board of nursing asked her why, she said that she thought that the reading was inaccurate. Yet she had been trained on what to do if she believed that the information from any of the machines were inaccurate, how to validate them and get correct readings. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, when the oxygen was 62%, she was in cardiac arrest. And for the next 4 hours, she denied care while my daughter was in cardiac arrest until Code Blue was called. And my daughter was found by a care partner or a CNA, went into the room and found my daughter cold and slumped over and lifeless.
Or if the medical examiner does not come out, they're not MTs, but they go and pick up the body and then do the medical examination. And depending on the medical examiner, someone wants the officer in there to talk to them about what happened or what is believed to happen. Some medical examiners don't want an officer in there; they just want to make their own findings.
Right. Okay. I'm asking because, like I told you before, different people were never investigated. Do you plan to formally investigate witnesses and family members who were at the hospital?
We can go by what the medical examiner said to us and whether she thought that was something criminal or not.
Because
then
I know
based on that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were based on what the medical examiner told us. If medical examiner says that she thinks there wasn't anything criminal, then we stop. And if she says there was, based on what she sends us or what they send us, then we would talk to GPD and they would go back out and talk to someone.
Because I know they closed the case without investigating any of it. And we were witnesses. We were never asked what we saw, what we heard, what was, the state of mind of anybody or anything. And we're almost 9 years in, and none of us have been questioned about anything.
Well, that would have been because at the time, no one thought that it was criminal.
Well, with the evidence that was submitted, there had to be, I don't remember the legal term, but some type of question about whether it might have been something criminal. Like I said, we were never investigated for them to, come to their conclusions. We have different statements from different people that's in the DHHS report where co-workers stated that the nurse verbally told them she would not reconnect my daughter to the cardiac leads. Just things like that, and we were never questioned about it.
That's really going to come down to what the medical examiner looking at it finds and makes a determination as to what will be proper in that kind of setting.
Okay, so right now the medical examiner has the medical records. Do they have the copy of the police report or anything that the police, any part of the police investigation?
I have to go back and look through individually to see, but I know we sent most of the records that we had from you and the records that we had involving the hospital records we sent off to the medical examiner, but I have to go back and look individually.
Okay, so.
But the medical examiner would know that there were no criminal findings previously.
Okay.
Because we have to let her know why we're sending it to her.
Right. Okay, so you said she would normally respond by email and then a paper copy, I believe you said, a hard copy would be sent?
No, ma'am. You can just email it to us.
So there wouldn't be a hard copy?
Not typically. Because it's sent to us through a security email, and if it was a criminal case, then we would send it off to to the defendants.
Okay, so because it's electronic, will I get a copy? I know last year when we talked about this last summer, and you claimed that I already had a copy, and that you had already sent the documents there, and then I found out otherwise when I spoke with the office. And then you, even in our conversation, you told me that I would not be able to see the decision that you said you already had back. So then we start all over, when you called me and told me that you would forward everything to the medical examiner. Will I be able to see the results this time?
What you would have to ask her directly. What we get is part of our investigation, and we don't usually hand that out unless there's a criminal case charged, and then we only hand that to the defendant. We will let you know what findings she makes, and then you have to ask her directly for a copy of it. Which in this case, would be as the executor of her estate.
Right. Well, I am the executor of her estate.
Right there. Right there. You see how he keep trying to go around shit? Why? All right, well, we can't really do this until we do this, but we could do this if this is what that's who I am. What you mean? Like, when can I get a copy? First you said I could get a copy. Now it's stipulations to me getting a copy.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was ever his intentions to get a report like that anyway. I think that after he was caught in the lie, that he had to go back to the people that he's been talking to tell them, okay, I screwed up. You know, I told her I already had this information. And so then they probably gave the green light. Okay, well, go ahead and send everything because we're going to stop it over there. So I don't think, even if he sent her the information, if he sent Dr. Kelly the information on August 11th, 2022, this is October 17th, 2023. She still hasn't given any type of report or anything. Even including the months that she was out of work on FMLA, we still talking about a year, and she hasn't given anything. You know, but like the lady said, she has to talk to people to see what she will be allowed to do, because they don't supposed to be doing anything with this case.
So, Ms. Cynthia, you do have a copy of your daughter's medical records, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I was just sitting here thinking. So it might be a back door that could kind of help you a little bit, because when you read medical records, it's real lengthy. But did you have a private insurance company or whatever insurance company that you had that paid for her hospital stay?
Mm-hmm.
Get a copy of everything they billed for and then read it. It'll read differently to you, because see, they charge for every little thing that they do to the insurance company.
The hospital picked up the tab.
Oh, yeah.
I did. Before they took it out of the system, I went over to the billing department and asked for a printout of the bill, and they printed it out for me. But then at the bottom of it, or on the next page, it said that the bills had already been taken care of. And then the risk manager confirmed that they took care of all the medical bills, so that none of the doctors, so they had the hospital bill and the charges that was incurred to the hospital. But then they also had like lab tests that had to go out, other doctors that might have came in, and all of those bills were separate, but the hospital picked up the tab for everything.
That was your back door. Wow.
So, I mean, just the fact that I have never heard of a hospital sending their risk manager to anybody's house admitting fault. This was something that they were trying to put the lid on immediately.
Something fell through the crack for that risk manager to come out. Had you talked back to her anymore after that?
I had several conversations with the risk manager. She was part of the internal investigation because, again, my daughter died unexpectedly. So they were required to investigate.
Right.
But the risk manager, she's the enemy. She's not, her job is not to help me. Her job is to protect the hospital.
Absolutely.
So when she went to the SBI, when I asked her, would there be an external investigation? She said that she was required to report cases like this, plural cases like this, to the SBI. So I contacted the SBI office in Greenville, North Carolina. And the agent that I spoke with couldn't find anything in the system on my daughter or the hospital or the risk manager. And I said, so she lied? And he said, and I would be very upset about that if I were you. So I called her on the line, and she said that she had talked to SBI agents. I said, who? I want names. And she gave me 3 names. So I ended up talking to all 3, but 2 in particular were ones that I guess that she had talked with, the most. And every time I talked to them, they kept telling me the same thing, that they didn't know anything about my daughter or this story, this incident, about the hospital, about Vicky Haddock. That was the name of the risk manager. So one day I had a meeting with Vicky in her office. And again, I'm telling her she's a liar. And she said, why do you keep calling me a liar? I said, because you keep telling me you talked to those SBI agents. They keep telling me they have not talked to you and they don't know anything about this incident. And she said, well, I talked to them a few days ago, as a matter of fact. You want to know what they told me? I said, what? They told me that you told them you were going to talk to the DA. And I was floored because I did tell them that, but I had never told her that because I didn't want the hospital to know, my next moves. I thought I could trust the SBI. So when I got in touch with the SBI again, I talked to that agent. I said, so that's how y'all do things now? He said, do what? I said, y'all take information from me and give it back to the hospital. Is that how y'all handle cases? Take information from one side and give it to the other? And he tried to play dumb. So I told him about the conversation with Vicky Haddock. And then he said, well, it must have been the spin you put on the story that made it not sound familiar. I said, Vicky Haddock's name has not changed. My daughter's name has not changed. The hospital's name has not changed. You knew what I was talking about. I don't care what spin I put on the story. So I was pissed off. And then he's like, well, I'm going to put you on with the other agent, and see how we can help.
They would have been mad if that hospital would have went up in flames. That's all I would listen. They don't understand that. It's like when it comes to Black people, like I said, and that's crazy that you're talking about this because I literally was just telling them probably yesterday or the day before about a conversation that I heard from 2 Caucasian women about how they treat Black women, but they were specifically talking about labor and delivery, women of color. But it falls in line with the rest of us. They don't, it's like, until they don't get that one day we're going to retaliate in a way that they never expected. But that right there, they should have expected for something to happen to their ass. Me personally, I would have committed arson. Yep. Everybody, I'm sorry to say it, but these people want to play with me. This whole hospital got to go down because there's no way in fuck hell that you ain't got no type of people they giving you to run around about your daughter in the case where one of their workers caused your daughter to lose her life. That's fucking wild to me. And you just supposed to okay, I'm just gonna listen to the white woman, the white man. And he said I have to. So this is what I'm gonna do. Then they get irritated that you're fighting to get justice for your child. That shit really makes me mad. Got my blood boiling. I ain't even gonna lie to you. This is the type of shit that I be talking about when I say, when it came to Rodney King, it was a whole riot. When it came to all them back then, they was standing up, fighting for rights, fighting just period, fighting back. This shit right here, I can't even say because it's some like me in my generation that, want this justice, but it's like, I don't know where it was lost. But it's like, we got to do something. We got to do something. There's no fuck way that we can't even go to where we're supposed to feel safe and feel like our child is getting the help that they need and the motherfucker got other intentions for my child. Grim Reaper, my child. You just said, okay, yep, today's your day. You ain't God. You ain't choose that this was her time to go. You made that decision on your own. I want to make a decision for you, but I can't. Because Lord knows I'll be in jail for the rest of my life. That shit is fucking crazy to me.
You know, it's almost like hidden slavery.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And not like that. The fact that you said your daughter was filled with gas.
Right,
They
because
put
she
gas
wasn't getting
in.
the oxygen. So her
Yeah,
body was
so
filling up with carbon was it dioxide?
carbon, yeah, yeah. Carbon monoxide, or what? I think it's carbon monoxide because that's the carbon monoxide poison.
Okay.
But just that right there is exactly what you said. Modern day slavery. You just filled my daughter up. That's like basically to me what that sounds like is you just damn near embalmed my daughter. That's what it
Yeah,
sounds
like
like to me.
right.
Medically lynched.
You just and then just the simple fact that for me it's like I'm sorry to say anybody in here of Caucasian background, it pisses me off that not all, but her specifically, she felt that power that she like you was God or something like that. Shit really pisses me off. When I used to watch Roots and stuff like that, it used to piss me off the fact that these white women just felt like they just had power over us. Like, I own you. Bitch, you felt like you owned her once you seen that girl and you were assigned to her. Oh, this is yours. You get to determine what you do with her. Oh, I'm not even going. I'm gonna just turn her monitor off. I'm having a bad day, so fuck her mom, fuck her. I'm about to turn her monitor off, and she about to have a bad. Everybody about to have a bad day today. That's how it sounded to me. You sounded very miserable, and all it
Yeah.
took was one thing for that monitor to be on, and your baby would still be here. I have a feeling. That's so sick.
Yeah, this could have been prevented. That's why I'll be upset about it. Because shit like this could have been prevented. Like, she didn't do nothing to nobody. She was in the
And
hospital trying to get better. That's all.
and you know what too? I meant to say this. This was another thing that lady said when they were talking about women in delivery and stuff. She said, what she said. She asked her. She said, "Do you feel like?" It was something about when they ask about your pain level, and it reminded me of a situation that I had where I went into the hospital. I thought I was having a miscarriage, and apparently it was my hernia that I discovered that I have. And my pain was at an all-time 10. And I'm talking about I'm screaming at the top of lungs. And when I tell you I'm not the dramatic type, I'm not. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna take this pain. But I just couldn't hold that. And she come in there, she goes, "Is it really that bad? Do you have to scream like that? Ma'am, is this not your job? I'm in pain. Go do something, and then you don't have to worry about me. You can come give me my pain meds and let the doctor take care of me. I don't even need you. As a matter of fact, go give me a whole nother nurse." But it's just the simple fact that you work in a whole hospital where people come when they're injured, when they having babies, whatever. You work here, you dedicated. This is the job that you took. And you asked me, is it that serious? And that's basically what that white lady said. She basically said, do you feel like it has anything to do? And I wanted to look at her like, bitch, are you serious? But she asked a very valid question. But she said, do you think that they really treat Black people differently when it comes to medical things? And in my head, I'm like, you damn fucking Skippy. They do. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad, y'all. I'm trying to get my daughter out the bathtub. You can't put your hands in here, girl.
Of Keisha White's estate. Okay.
But, yeah.
And right now, you just have no idea how much longer it will take to get a response back.
No, ma'am.
Okay. All righty. Well, I guess that's all of my questions for now. Some of them I crossed off because you answered. You already answered some of the questions that I already had wrote down just in some of your explanations. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your time and you calling me back today. So I was a little bit nervous because I missed your call this morning.
Oh, that's all right. We don't get a chance to come back and be in the office a lot.
Okay. Well, like I said, I appreciate your time and everything, and I'll try to follow up again soon if I don't hear from you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank
You
you.
have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Medical examiner's office. This is.
Hello, Miss.
Yes.
I was calling to find out if you have any information in your system on my daughter, Keisha White.
No, ma'am. We don't have any information on her. I believe you're supposed to speak with risk management because we don't have any information here in the medical examiner's office. We're not doing anything with her case.
So have you received anything?
No, ma'am. I have not received anything. It would come to me, and I haven't received anything.
Hey, she slipped up and actually said that she do know about it. Cause she was like, you was like, do you know about my daughter's case? And have you ever heard of Keisha White? She's like, oh no, we don't have anything. And then you turn around and ask her again, and then she turned around and say, oh nah, we don't have anything on your daughter's case. You gotta listen to her like she sound like she do know, but she trained to say what she's saying. It sound like she do know, but she trained to say what she's saying. Just listen to her reaction.
You're supposed to speak with risk management because we don't have any information here in the medical examiner's office. We're not doing anything with her case.
So have you received anything?
No, ma'am. I have not received anything. It would come to me, and I haven't received anything.
No record. Fair.
Medical examiner's office. This is.
Hello, Miss.
Yes.
I was calling to find out if you have any information in your system on my daughter, Keisha White.
No, ma'am. We don't have any information on her. I believe you're supposed to speak with risk management because we don't have any information here in the medical examiner's office. We're not doing anything with her case.
So have you received anything?
No, ma'am. I have not received anything. It would come to me, and I haven't received anything.
No record. Ferris Dixon is saying that he sent everything last summer. The release he had me sign was sent to me towards the end of July, and I sent it back early in August. And so it was after that he claims that everything was sent to that office, the medical records and reports from DHHS and the Board of Nursing and so forth.
I don't have anything. The last time I talked with his office, they said they had not sent me anything. So I'm sorry, but no, I have not received anything. And I would be the contact person that would receive that information.
Okay, well, if he does send the information over, how would Dr. Kelly typically respond? Would I get a copy, or is it just between a decision that would be just between that office and the DA, like an email or something?
I don't know what she would do with it. She'd have to wait and she'd have to talk with Rick because we're not supposed to be doing anything with the case.
Y'all can play dumb if y'all want to. This lady keep on saying she know about. She just said, "Man, we ain't supposed to do nothing about this case." She keeps slip up saying little shit.
Yep, she did say that.
I was told we ain't supposed to do nothing for this case. You didn't just hear her say that?
Mm-hmm.
I was told we wasn't supposed to do nothing for this case. You just told me you don't know nothing about this case. But now you're
Explain that
saying
to me.
you was told to not do nothing about this case. Come on, man. Play with somebody else, man. Go play with your kids. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with us, because this shit sound crazy.
End of July, and I sent it back early in August. And so it was after that that he claims that everything was sent to that office, the medical records and reports from DHHS and the Board of Nursing and so forth.
I don't have anything. And the last time I talked with his office, they said they had not sent me anything. So I'm sorry, but no, I have not received anything. And I would be the contact person that would receive that information.
Okay, well, if he does send the information over, how would Dr. Kelly typically respond? Would I get a copy, or is it just between a decision that would be just between that office and the DA, like an email or something?
I don't know what she would do with it. She'd have to wait, and she'd have to talk with Rick, because we're not supposed to be doing anything with the case.
Now you hear how she getting irritated? My goddamn, I just told you this and that. We ain't supposed to do nothing about this case. Ah, fuck, I done slipped up. Yeah, you sure did. Sounding like fucking Marge Simpson or one of her fucking sisters. Shit. She's saying in so many words, now she getting irritated. Like, to where, you know how some motherfuckers be like, they be trying to hold something in, but then you get to irritate them so they say something about it. Like, yeah, that's what she doing. Oh, well, I said when they told me we ain't supposed to do nothing about this case. All right, you just told on yourself. And stop smoking cigarettes. Your throat sounds scratchy as hell. The fuck?
And so she would have to talk with the attorneys and then see what she would be allowed to do.
Okay.
Okay, but no, I have not received anything.
Wow. So this is 2 times, because last summer, around June or July, he claimed that he already had a report back from Dr. Kelly. And then when I spoke with this office, it was you who told me that you didn't have anything in the system on my daughter. And then he called me back after he was caught in the lie. He called me back a few days later and told me, I have good news. I'm going to send everything over to the medical examiner's office. And then they followed up by sending me a release to have notarized. And then I tried to follow up with this office last, I believe in September or October, but the person that I spoke with wouldn't talk to me. So, and then I didn't try anymore until this year.
Yeah, Dr. Kelly was out of the office from November through 8 and just came back to work last week.
Right, I remember.
And we haven't received anything. They might want to FedEx it to us, or I don't know, just bring it over to us. I don't know, but I have not received anything.
Okay.
Okay?
I appreciate your time so much, Miss.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hello?
Miss Aiken?
Yes?
Yes, ma'am. I'm calling from the DA's office. You left a message for me?
Yes, sir. Thank you for
yes, ma'am.
Thank you for returning my call.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm calling because I got other information regarding the sending of records to the medical examiner's office.
Other information from who or how?
Didn't you run on a platform of clinic up the corruption in the courthouse?
Ma'am, but what is it you're talking about?
They don't have anything.
Ma'am, we scanned it and we sent it.
They don't have anything.
If you can go back and look.
Excuse me?
We're looking back through our emails. Can you open it up for us? Sure. Thank you. Okay. 11. Yeah, how many pages? 690, 2,000. Almost 3,000 pages. August 11th, of last year, we sent in one document 2,361 pages, and in the second one, 693 pages. Now, what happened once they got it? We don't know. But it was sent last summer.
Miss saying that she doesn't have it. They don't have anything in their system.
Well, it was sent to Dr. Kelly. It was sent to Dr. Kelly to her email.
Miss said that everything has to go through her. She would know all of it.
Okay. And who's this lady?
She's the office manager.
All right. We'll send it to her. Because previously we sent it to where Dr. Kelly wanted us to send it to.
So you're going to send it to her today?
Yes, ma'am. We're typing it now.
Okay.
How you spell her name?
Whose name?
Her email.
I have the spelling of her name, but I don't have her email.
Yeah. All right. We spelled it correctly and are about to send it to her as soon as we finish up.
I'd appreciate it.
Go ahead. You want to copy Dr. Kelly then? Yeah. Okay. Done.
Can your office please follow up with them just for receipt to confirm that they actually have it this time?
Certainly.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Bye-bye.
Now, who y'all think lying?
I know the DA is lying.
Everybody.
But I have sent everything to the North Carolina bar in the complaint, the conversations and everything. I uploaded to them when I filed the complaint. So he's being investigated. Along with the doctor, because I filed complaints against the medical examiner, because again, she's supposed to be the voice of the deceased and tell their story, the part of the story that they can't tell themselves.
Wow.
That's so true. That's their job.
They trained to say certain shit,
You
especially
said
when they know
trained.
exactly. Go
They
ahead.
paid. They paid to say it. They
Mm-hmm.
not trained. They paid.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, but even right down to the civil lawyers that I had, I begged for them to look. I want the criminal charges, and the last lawyer I had even told me, that this woman should be hung and quartered. But yet nobody would speak up to the police department or to the district attorney. So they knew that my daughter was murdered. I can't attach a name to that sentence, but they knew she was murdered. And I stand on that she, I mean, because that's what everything says. She was murdered.
And then don't forget they took her phone. Like what you think their motives was when they took her phone after you left out of her room?
So that she wouldn't be able to call anybody once they started doing the shit that they did.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And the first thing they actually did really, really wrong is when they cut off access to that heart monitor. That's why the insurance company got paid all that money, paid for all her bills and everything. That's why they did that. So it couldn't be traced. Because you paid for every minute she was connected up. So for all the minutes she wasn't connected to the time she was deceased is on their hands. That's their responsibility. They at fault.
This is a federal case in a lot of ways. I mean, you got the hospital that receives Medicare and Medicaid funding. And then the hospital was in violation of 6 federal health care laws at the time of my daughter's death. And they were given 21 days to come back into compliance. My daughter was disabled. I believe this was a hate crime because she was the only Black patient, to my memory. She was the only Black patient on that wing of the hospital, and the only Black patient of that nurse, and the only patient that didn't live until shift change. And the hospital has been in violation of a lot of federal laws, 31 federal law violations between 2011 and 2020. And if the hospital is going to break, a hospital that breaks laws enables its workers to break the law.
Exactly.
But so far the FBI, I've been trying to get them to step in on it, and I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know if they're waiting for something to hit the news or what, and then I don't understand that, as far as trying to garner the online support, because this was my only attempt when way back in 2014, I started putting information on Facebook and, things like that, trying to, get public support, because at that time, what was in the news in 2014? Was it Eric Garner in 2014? Or was it
I don't know. I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
It might have been him or
It was something
Michael
going
Brown.
on. It was something going on.
Ferguson. Whatever that was going on in Ferguson, I believe that happened in 2014. So I'm thinking that, I get this out there and maybe I can get, some of the attention pulled this way, because I was planning to, I was hoping to get the support so that I could plan a march in Greenville in front of the hospital. But I couldn't gather the support. I'm like, what are y'all waiting on? Oh, I don't have a video. There is no video of a cop killing my kid. So, I don't know if that's it or what. Ben Crump won't touch this case. He's turned me down 3 times.
And why? But why though? Like, what's his reason?
I can't remember the email exactly, but I believe they said this is not the type of case that he works on, because the medical malpractice part is done. That's over, and there's a 3-year statute of limitations on wrongful death claims, and no, 2 years. It's 3 years for medical malpractice, but if it's wrongful death, it's 2-year statute of limitations. So that's been gone. He can't make no money off of that, And so now I'm trying to go after the city, but I can't find, anybody that, will help with that, or anybody. I don't care who, as long as the case gets the attention so that it can get in the news the way it should have been 9 years ago.
I don't know, but we building a little traction here at Gangland as far as bringing awareness to this. We building a little traction. Y'all better double back on them last shows and look at the we get some traction, and that's all it take. For one person to hear something, they gonna do a broadcast on it. Next thing you know, they got legal people hitting. Come on, man. So that's how we trying to pay it forward, because I'm pretty sure y'all got daughters out there.
Yes, I appreciate that too. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, you already know
when I stepped in on your chat on a different live that wasn't even talking about this, you still hopped on it right then before your show was over. That meant so much, and I can't even tell you in words, but it meant so much.
Yeah, they was blown. They was like, bro, where'd that come from? Like, that wasn't even in the title. That wasn't even in the title, and it's like, certain situations is not going to be in the title, but we be having to talk about them, and this is one of them. 9 years is too long, and this can happen to Shanquilla Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be 9 years going on and still no justice, and people got to come to grips like, hey, you see, it's 9 years later, she's still trying, still got her foot on the gas. Like, hey, man, if y'all think a motherfucker about to get away with this, you're wrong. It takes certain individuals who ain't scared of them higher ups, who gonna say, hey man, something is wrong here. We have to do something about this, because same with Shanquilla Robinson. If don't nobody do nothing about this, that means anybody is up for grabs when you go in these hospitals. That means anybody is up for grabs when you go in these jails. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially as the minority. You're up for grabs. We'll do anything to you up in here. Hospitals ain't safe. Jails ain't safe.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Let's get into it. We about to get into some more content. The night before her daughter passed away, video 2, we gonna get into that. And when you made this video, what was the message that you tried to send in this video?
When I made those, I was just telling my perception of what was going on before I knew what had actually happened.
Okay, we're going to get into that. Y'all hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, man. It's Gangland.
So, exactly what happened to my daughter. We'll start with a little bit of background and the way things appeared to be on the surface. Because trust me, I was dead wrong in what I thought. And I have the paperwork to back it up and to show you. And I will be showing you. I don't have any of the documents in front of me right now for this video. But as I talk about different things, I will have the documents in front of me so that I can show you. And I will tell you how you can access the ones that are able to be accessed on the internet. Okay? That way you can fact check me if you need to. So, Keisha Marie White, was diagnosed with lupus. I believe she was diagnosed on Easter Sunday, 2002, when she was 14 years old. Yes, I know I'm going way back because my daughter's been dead for 9 years. It has taken me this long to get the strength to get on camera and tell the world what happened. Fast forward to May 9th and May 10th, 2014. She had been in the hospital for about 3.5 weeks. The hospital that she was a patient at
was called Vidant Medical Center in Greenville, North Carolina, formerly Pitt County Memorial Hospital, which was a great facility. She had been there before and gotten excellent care. That's where she was diagnosed with the lupus. The staff of doctors were great back then. We didn't know anything had changed with the staff. During this 3.5 weeks that she was in the hospital, I often slept in my car in the parking lot. And then when I had the money, I would get a hotel room. I would do that, and I would stay 6 days a week at the hospital. And then I would go back home, where I would spend one night at home. That night, I was so tired. I was so tired. I did not want to make the trip back to the hospital. And my husband even came out to the car with me, and he was like, baby, why don't you just wait till in the morning? Get you some rest and go in the morning. And I said, I can't. I got back to the hospital, and it was Mother's Day weekend. I had packed up along with my clothes. I had packed up some activities because, again, after 3.5 weeks of being in that room, she's 26. I'm like, if I could get her out of this room, if I could get her a chair with wheels or whatever and get her outside, because we were going to have the best Mother's Day weekend that we could have with her in the hospital. Get back to the hospital that night. And when I got there, my daughter was different. She seemed weaker. She had been on oxygen because fluid in her chest, which I think the hospital had gave her so much IV that they flooded her chest. But that's not the abuse or neglect that I'm talking about, okay? So when I got into the room with her, she was complaining of being so hot. She was hot, and she wanted to lay on the floor. And so I'm trying to tell her, Keisha, the floor is dirty. This is a hospital floor. This is not even an at-home floor. This is a hospital floor. You can't lay on the floor. It's dirty. And that's all she wanted to do because she was hot and she knew that the floor was cool. So I'm trying to, convince her not to, to save the bed. And I noticed she was sliding between the rails. She had put her feet between the rails on the other side of the bed and had started sliding, because she was frail, on the thin side, and she could fit. And I'm trying to hold on to her hand, and but she's hooked up. She's got equipment hooked up to her, the nasal cannula, the cardiac monitor leads and everything. And she was no longer on the IV because of the fluid. But I couldn't just pull her back onto the bed from where I was on the other side of the bed, just her hand and an arm. I could have done her more damage, dislocated her shoulder or something. So I did what I could to, as she got to the other side on the floor, trying to make sure that nothing was disconnected, and let her down. And then I started calling for help, for somebody to come help me get her back in the bed. It was a nurse, the charge nurse actually came in the room. Her name was Monica. I think her name was Monica. And she said, she's going to have to go on restraints. So I didn't argue. All I knew is that the floor was dirty and she was already sick. I didn't want her to get sicker. So if restraints was going to keep her in the bed, I didn't argue. But I'm the type of person that I can't watch. So I rushed out of the room. went and got on the elevator and went down to the main floor where I called my husband. And I was so upset at the idea that they had to put restraints on her. Excuse me, I'll be right back.
I'm so sorry you went to this. Oof, this shit is tragedy for real. And it seems like it's only us that has to go through this for this long. I'm sorry to say it, and actually, I'm not sorry to say it, but I'm so sick of these white people getting justice in a day, and it taking them years. Like, you gotta have big money, or something horrible has to happen for you for you to get the justice. Like, it just don't make no sense to me at all. And then you know what fucks me up though? The fact that all the moms like Miss Jolanda and you are the only two that I've actually gotten to really, speak to and actually hear the stories of your children. But it's sad, like the reality that y'all pushed y'all babies out. Y'all spent years making memories with your children just for it to get ripped away from y'all. That shit is just sickening to me. But I'm done.
I'm back. So I was on the phone with my husband telling him that they had to put restraints on her, and like I said, I was hysterical. As a parent, I was hysterical. He talked to me for a few minutes, and then I went back up to the room. Well, actually, I went back up to the floor, and I stopped at the nursing station, and the doctor on call, which I thought he was a doctor, come to find out he was a nurse practitioner who was the acting physician. He was the one on call for the night. I saw him at the nursing station, and I stopped and talked to him. And I asked him, should I be preparing myself? He said, no. He said, well, her kidneys have failed. He said, but me and her doctors, we expect her condition to improve. So while I was standing there, the nurse, Linda Brixon, she walked up, and the doctor or nurse practitioner had ordered a bunch of tests to see what was going on with Keisha. And the nurse looked at me and said, she pulled out her catheter. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. I hadn't even noticed that the catheter tubing was not there when I was in the room the first time. And the attitude of the nurse, I don't think the attitude dawned on me until after the fact, because my head was full of, she pulled the catheter out. And if any of you have had a catheter, you know that when they insert it into your urethra, they inflate it with a 1-inch bulb, about, a 1-inch bulb at the end, like a balloon. So now imagine a 1-inch bulb being pulled or snatched or yanked or however it came out through your pee hole. I got myself together, and then I went to the room. I went back to the room. And I sat next to the bed, and she was asleep. But and just seeing her laying there and not really responding a lot. Again, this was a different demeanor because we always talk. When I was in the room with her, and even if she was just telling me how she was feeling, and if she was feeling bad, whatever it was, we always talked about something. And this night she wasn't talking. So, and then I also noticed that she was not asking for her medicine. So I'm thinking that whatever that's going on with her has her where she is not capable of asking for her medicine. Finally, coming up to 3:30, like 3:25 something, I got the nurse and asked her could she go ahead and give my daughter her next pain medicine. So I went on out to the car. I was about to fall asleep in the car, and I said, nope, you can't fall asleep. The doctor's got to get the results back from those tests he ordered. Which, let me back up. When I talked to the nurse about giving my daughter her medicine, I did ask her if those test results were back, and she said no. The only thing that came back was her potassium, which was a little high. She said that none of the other tests had come back, and we're going to come back to that later too because she lied. I found out from the medical records that all the tests were ready between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock a.m. on the morning of May 10th. This was after 3 o'clock. The nurse said that none of the tests was back except for the one that showed the potassium being high. So, okay, I'm out of the car, and I'm about to fall asleep. And something said, you know what? Those test results are going to come back soon. Whatever it is, they're going to start treating her for it. And I have to hold out until lunchtime. I figured between 12 and 2, they will have figured out what's going on, given her some medicine, and she should be coming back around. And then I could tell her how she scared the hell out of me during the night. My daughter had a cell phone, and her cell phone had been missing for about a week. And I decided to, look, Walmart. There's got to be a Walmart in this town. I decided to ride around and find until I could find Walmart. And I didn't have a cell phone. At that time, I didn't like cell phones. I didn't want a cell phone. I didn't do cell phones. But my daughter needed a cell phone. So I found Walmart, and I couldn't really afford a smartphone, but I knew it would make her so happy because the phone that got missing that she had was a smartphone. And she would be so surprised that mama picked her out a smartphone. So I picked out a smartphone, and then I got the guy who was working there to open it up, show me what to do. How do I activate it? How do I get this thing going? How do I turn it on and off? I mean, just all of that I didn't know. He gave me a little class on it, and then I paid for the phone, went back to the hospital. Now it's going on 6 o'clock in the morning. And I get inside the hospital, walk towards the elevators, and I put my finger out to mash the button. And just as the doors opened, I heard code blue, South 311. Now, normally when I heard code blue, the whole time that I was there, if I heard code blue come on the intercom, I would stop whatever I'm doing for a moment and ask God to help that person and their family be okay. So I stepped on the elevator, and I was getting ready to do the same thing when I said, code blue, South. South. My daughter's on South. That's somewhere near her. South. South is the, South Tower. 3, third floor. My daughter's on the 3rd floor. 311.
Man, just to hear, damn, okay. Shit, the third, damn, all right. Then they say the room number is like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not mine. How the hell, what's going on? To where it's a cold blue. Like, I'm confused.
Right. I was very confused. That was the first thing I asked when I made it up to the hall was, what did I miss? Like, what did I miss? You know, I thought she was just, you know, asleep. And come to find out now, I know that she was laying there dying. My child was laying there dying when I left the room because she was in cardiac arrest. And her brain was too far gone with the oxygen to communicate. So, you know, that's part of why I could tell the story to people, but it's taken all this long to be able to get on camera and try to get the story told without breaking down every 2 minutes. Like, you know, I just couldn't do it before.
Man, we gonna have you talk with Miss Jolanda. Man, it be hard for her sometimes. Like, she get up here and just let it all hang out. Like, because it be like, sometimes you need that. And that's why we be in that clubhouse, you know, because sometimes you need that. You got to, because just bottling it in, it's just going to hurt even worse. You know, it's a tough pill to swallow. And shouldn't no mother have to bury their daughter? Their daughter should be ultimately burying them, you know. It shouldn't be the other way around. So it's like, man, this ain't something you could just take on the chin. Like, this ain't no L. You could just be like, man, this could have been prevented. Could have been prevented. So, you know, we're going to get into some more content, man. We want this story heard. We want it out. And pay attention, man. Pay attention to the details. Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to the laws that's broken. Pay attention to the inconsistencies. Pay attention to the lies they telling her. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention. Just, you know, if you got some kind of intellect, you know, you ain't slow. Pay attention. So, yeah, hit that like button. About to get into some more content. We need to understand it. This gangland.
Hovering over that button, but we need your help. We have a better button, we promise. Right on top.
Okay, so over that weekend, after speaking with the risk manager and replaying the conversation, it stuck out. That's when it stuck out that the hospital didn't do everything. When she said that they didn't do everything that they could have done. Everything was still so fresh. My mind was not there. And I know those of y'all out there watching the video probably have picked out a dozen signs or more that something was wrong. And that is so easy to do from the outside looking in. Okay. To be able to tell me, well, you should have did this, you should have did that, you should have noticed. Look, there's nothing you can say to me that's going to beat me up more than I have beat myself up. I stopped beating myself up when I actually realized and believed that the staff had a job to do. whether I was there or not. So, with that said, I called Vicky Haddock on Monday and I asked her, was there going to be a criminal investigation? And she said that the hospital had already investigated. I was like, no, I mean a criminal. I want an outside investigation. I don't trust y'all's investigation. I want an outside investigation done. I took it upon myself then to drive to Greenville, and I went to the police department because I wanted the police to investigate. And the police told me that they didn't have jurisdiction over the hospital, even though the hospital was in the city limits. Okay. They told me they didn't have jurisdiction over the hospital because the hospital had their own police. Okay, so if I want an investigation, I have to go to the hospital and ask their police to investigate. That's what they told me. So I went to the hospital and I spoke with somebody at the desk and told them, what I wanted, that I want to talk to your police. And she asked me what was it regarding. And I told her that my daughter had died there and I want an investigation, and that the police department had told me that I had to talk to their police first. So she tells me to go have a seat and somebody will be with me. I went and sat down and I waited and waited. Seemed like a long time, but it might have been 20, 30 minutes that I waited. And a lady came in. I told her, I said, well, I'm waiting for the police. She said, well, you have to talk to risk management before you can talk to the police. Is that Vicky Haddock? And she said, yes, ma'am. I said, no, I don't want to talk to her. I want to talk to the police. And she said, well, you can't talk to them unless you talk to Vicky Haddock. I cannot talk to your police unless I go through Vicky. That's the way it works. I didn't want that because Vicky worked for the hospital. Yeah, she came to my house and sat in my living room and told me things that was very surprising because I had never heard of a hospital sending their goons out to anybody's house admitting fault or guilt or anything of that nature before, which means that something big had to be up that they were trying to put a lid on before it got out. So I ended up leaving Greenville. After I got home, I called the Pitt County Sheriff because I wanted them to investigate. And they told me that they didn't have jurisdiction because the hospital was in city limits, that the Greenville Police Department had jurisdiction over the facility. And I said, they told me that the hospital police had jurisdiction over the hospital, and they did not have jurisdiction over the hospital. And he said, well, the hospital's in the city limits, so the police department does have jurisdiction over the hospital. Okay. So the next time I spoke with Vicky Haddock, I asked her again about an investigation being done, an outside investigation. And she again said, in cases like this, okay, in cases, plural, like this.
I can't even pull my dude out.
Don't worry, guys, I got this.
That they are required to talk to the SBI. Not FBI. FBI, SBI. She said SBI. Okay. And I got off the phone with her and I looked to see if there was an SBI office in Greenville, North Carolina. And there was. So I said, okay, these must be who she talked to. So I called that office and I spoke with an agent, and I'm not going to give the SBI agent's name, but he didn't have anything in his system on my daughter or anything in his
any notes or anything of having spoken with anybody from the hospital. I said, so she lied to me? He said, and I would be very upset about that if I were you. So I got off the phone with him. I'm like, why is she lying? So then I called, that week, I called the district attorney's office and I spoke with one of the assistant district attorneys. He seemed interested in what I had to say, but I guess this might have been on Friday, the 20th, that I had spoke with the DA's office. So that weekend, I'm like, I'm staying up all night now trying to figure out why is she lying? Why did Vicky Haddock lie to me? You know, what are they trying to hide? What do they have to lose? I'm not sure, but what are they trying to hide? And I started looking up information. I decided to Google, something about the restraints and the procedures or protocol or something like that. And that's when I ran across the CMS, that's Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services, or it might be Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, but it's a federal office called CMS. On their website, they have all the federal rules, okay, all their laws that govern facilities. Who does the hospital answer to? I know it's a facility. It might be public, it might be private, but it's got to be some place that the facility or some person, some entity that the facility has to answer to. I was looking at all these different rules and stuff, and I got to the ones regarding restraints, and that's when I realized that they had broken that particular federal law dealing with the restraints. So I couldn't wait for Monday to come. I called the assistant DA back and told him that I had found why they were lying. I said, it's got to be this right here. And that man no longer wanted to help me. His whole demeanor had changed. He went from helpful to cold. I mean, cold. The man told me that there was nothing he could do. He didn't believe any crime had been committed, and that his boss felt the same way. Okay.
They're coming straight in. Trust me, I've got nothing.
Damn, so that's how they getting at you. Like, man, I don't see no crime being committed, and my boss said he don't see one either. So,
yeah, his boss was the former DA, Kimberly Robb. And I filed a complaint against her at the time because her husband is a doctor. He's an anesthesiologist with hospital privileges. So I was like, she shouldn't even be allowed to do anything with this case because I felt like that was a conflict of interest. I know he wasn't employed directly by the hospital, but he still brought patients there from his office. because they anesthesiologists are also pain specialists. So he may be getting patients from the hospital or giving the hospital patients and benefiting. They both have a mutual benefit in that. But more than likely, the hospital had already gotten to her. So, no matter who she's married to, the hospital still was not going to allow her. And she listened. And the sad part is that district attorneys have that prosecutorial discretion where they don't have to, they can choose not to bring a case to justice, you know? So, and that's their right. But in this particular instance with the current DA, Ferris Dixon, I feel like he crossed the line. Whereas Kimberly Robb, she just wouldn't talk to me at all. So I feel like she exercised her discretion the way that she was allowed to. But with Ferris Dixon, he's been lying and making steps to keep the lie going. I feel like that's the difference, and even the immunity that prosecutors have, they have prosecutorial immunity. But when I look that up, it only covers them when they're doing prosecutorial duties. In other words, once they have filed charges, then they are a prosecutor on that case until the case is over. But before that point, they are investigators on the case. So during the time that they're an investigator, then they're not protected by that immunity because they're not acting as a prosecutor in that case until they bring the charges. That was something I talked with the law office about 2 weeks ago because I was trying to get help. Actually, it was the Charlotte, North Carolina office of the Johnny Cochran firm. And one of the attorneys called me back. And when she tried to tell me, she said, well, we can't go after the DA because he has immunity. I said, not until he files those charges, he doesn't. And she said, what are you talking about? And I told her the same thing I just explained. And she said, so there were two people? I said, no, it's just one. But he's not covered by that immunity when he's acting as an investigator. And she said, I never heard of that before. I said, well, because the way people have handled this case, I have to know. I said, because every hurdle they put up means I have to learn more. I have to look it up. It might take me a few days to learn. It might take me 6 months to learn. It depends on how I'm wording it in the search. But I keep searching until I figure it out. And that's what I figured out in this, that he's not protected until he brings charges. So I'm like, wow, you never heard of it and you're a lawyer. Okay. But I think that he has crossed the line because not only with the lying that he's done, he has failed. One of the oaths or something that they have to take is to protect the public. And what happened to Keisha is not just a Keisha White incident. It's not just about Keisha White. This is about the public, like you were saying earlier, that when you go to the hospital, anything can happen. And until people in the medical profession are held accountable and not held above the law, then yeah, anything can happen. And you're supposed to be able to be safe when you go there.
Mm-mm-mm.
So it becomes a social issue, and it's a social issue that's being ignored because how many more people? I mean, Keisha White, she's not the only one. There's people before her, and I'm sure people after her. Linda Brixton is not the only nurse that has violated a patient's rights and abused a patient. And until she and others, are actually held criminally responsible, it's going to be others, and I'm sure it is others. But like the other young lady was saying, you signed that agreement. You sue for civil damages, and then you sign the gag order, and then people just kind of stop talking, and they're not going to shut me up. So gag order. Which in my case, fortunately, I had put a lot of this out on Facebook before I signed the gag order. So I'm not bound by information that was already put out, but anything new, then they could, do things and stuff. But I'm okay. Do what you gotta do, because I'm doing what I gotta do.
Man, we about to head into this clubhouse. I normally don't even be on this long during the weekday. I normally get off at an hour and a half, 2 hours. We've been on here 3 hours. We be back. We gonna spend more hours. I feel we got somewhere tonight to where people can get an understanding. Now it's time to dig. Now it's time to dig deep, you know, and figure out if what can we do to help Miss Cynthia, even if it's we can bring something to her attention to where she can take it to a lawyer and they can be like, you know what, this make a hell of a lot of sense. Let's take this case because we know we can get some money from this. That's what it's always about. The money. What's the money play? Something we can do to where we can figure out something to where we can tell a lawyer that's going, hey man, look, this one of the ones. Fuck it ain't on TV and all that. Hey. So yeah, man, y'all tap in, man, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And like I said, man, these people real lives. These are people real lives. Don't get active and proactive when it come knocking on your doorstep. Get active right now. So y'all tap in. The link to the clubhouse is in the description. And yeah, man, we up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all, man. It's gangland.
Niggas know me, been off the points is like back when. Gang in the field, bitch, we be something like the Pac-10.
Gangland, we around this motherfucker, man.
Oh, man, bitch, stand on that. To the head, I'll show a nigga's feelings. My ninth and wood nigga, up the street from the village.
We ain't in it, you niggas don't talk no guns, we ain't in it.
Make sure you put him down, never leave a witness. No love for the suckers, never on forgiveness. Stomp down on these niggas, cause niggas is big. Ooh, about to blow something. Man got the stick, about to hold something.
Ooh, y'all know what it is. It's Gangland TV to sit there live. Hit the like button. Don't be boosty. And subscribe to the channel. And hit the notification bell, man. That shit easy, man. You know what I'm saying? Easy. Subscribing. That's free as fuck. Hit the notification bell. That's free as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That shit's free.
Gang in the field, bitch, we be something like the Pac-10.